Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Play Boom Beach. Clayton here, and in today's episode we're going to be doing another one from the quest to 1,000 medals. So we're getting pretty close. We're going to be starting this one out at 796. As you can see here, we're getting really close to maxing out everything in our academy. We've got all the gunboat things maxed out. We've got 2 troops. We've got the heavy. We've got the warrior. And since last time, we actually got a gunboat masterpiece 40%, which I think our previous was 34%. So we got a nice increase there, 6% of 50 coins. It's another 3 coins or so, which you can never complain. All right, so starting off today, we are currently sitting in 35th place, and in the world we are sitting at 669. Okay, so gonna get right into it. I think that we had to boost up our statues. Somebody commented and asked, I'm now getting to be quite a high level player. I'm almost run out of all power powder. Is it still possible to clear your map every single day without having to boost at least 1, 2, or 3 of your statues? And the answer to that is yes, and it's no at the same time. For me, there definitely are some times where there is no way I could take a base out unless I have almost 3 statues boosted. But then there's lots of times, like I would say there's probably 60 to 70% of the bases, if you do it perfectly and you know exactly what you want to do and you spend all of your artillery coins perfectly, like you know where you want to shock before you do it, you know where you want to heal, you know where you want to flare, you can. I feel like I could take out 60 to 70% of all bases without boosting any statues, and that's with max level warriors. But at the same time, there are so we just won that one. Actually, that was pretty easy base based on the mine placement. Now there are bases where you need them. Like there's no way to let's get our tanks to level 7 really quick though. You need them because, and I find some of the times it's a lot of the resource bases, because now that I've fought over resource bases so much that they've just become almost out of control. A couple of them, like some of them have like 12 max level rocket launchers, and like that just destroys almost any army composition if you don't deal with them. So like for things like that, you need them. There's also like every now and then I'm getting fully maxed level players attacking me, and sometimes depending if the person like unlike this person, they did a very poor job of placing their mines. It's almost a gimme because they really didn't think it out. But then there's players who are very, very good with placing their mines in order to deal with things like warriors. You can't, like, mines aren't really a huge thing when you're like people are playing with tanks and medics, but like with warriors, if a player knows what they're doing and they place their mines right and they're at level 20, like you need to be able to deal with them, whether it's with a barrage or a couple of missiles. But yeah, other than that, so that kind of answers the question. It's a yes and no answer. Most of the time you can, some of the time you can't. It's basically. I know that's not a great answer, but that's how I kind of feel about it. Okay, anyway, so like I said, this one was pretty easy. The mine placement was very poor. I kind of just barraged the headquarters, and just kind of walked around. And that'll give us another easy 2 artillery, or 2 medals. Alright, letting it all blow up. Okay, perfect. Not too many casualties. She'll let us jump right back into it probably. That person's online. Let's try this one. Okay, see, this person's a little bit better at placing their mines compared to the other ones, but I still think this one would be maybe not actually. I hate when people put their rocket launcher in the back right hand corner, because it doesn't get much more anti-warrior than that placement. So actually probably with this one, if that second rocket launcher or that second shock launcher was up, I probably wouldn't have tried. I may have tried once, and if I failed, I probably wouldn't have tried again, just because it's very difficult to deal with a shock launcher in the back when you already don't have your boosted damage for your troops, boosted health, and boosted gunship energy. But when it comes to the ones in the back right, it's the amount of barrage versus missile coins you'd have to spend to destroy that single shock launcher. It's just not worth it for the fact that it might shoot and hit 30% of your troops or 40% of your troops for 2 seconds, and it might go off 3 times. Like as you see here, it probably won't be that bad. We'll let the smoke come out. So you'll see it's going to hit once and twice. So it barely even hit twice, and it probably hit maybe 40% of our warriors. So the value of coins to damage output that you're losing based on, like, because then you wouldn't be able to shock, let's say, all the machine guns and the flamethrowers that are right up next to you. It's just not worth it. When they first came out, I was really scared of the shock launchers, but they're good, but they're not as good as I thought they were. They're definitely a game-changing defense, but not so much anymore. Okay, 32nd now in Canada at 802 medals. Let's reinforce these boats and get another one in. We'll just reclaim this quick. I'm still hovering around 66 power powder. What I usually do with my power powder lately is when I start getting like really high, like into the high 60s or like even 70, and I've cleared my map, or sometimes when I'm even lower, even like if I'm at 60 power powder, and if I've cleared my map, I will include, because the resource bases are usually the hardest thing to get back, just because some of them are ridiculous with what's on them. And I like to boost my defense damage and my defense health. I'll boost them maybe for like 24 hours. That way it just makes my day easier when I come back on tomorrow and only 3 resource bases have been taken over, as opposed to there being, let's say, 10 taken over, and then you have to sit there and try to fight them all back. Anyways, that person was online, so we're just gonna show you what a resource base looks like. This one's I think I refreshed into this one, so the base is very blocky. I might change it up after this video, but right now, as you can see, like, there's lots of stuff on here. The rocket launchers could probably put in better places. Maybe a couple more, probably more spacing. But this one should be an easy one to take. Got lots of coins left over. Probably drop one on the left-hand side to get the close shock launcher or the close resource base. The close flamethrowers. Can't talk today. Another thing that I actually noticed that's starting to happen is yesterday I think it was, for top players, the NPC bases were kind of the same. There was one called Much Turret, there was one called something Sensation, and then there was one called I forget what it was. It had to do with there being 2 entrance points on it. I forget what it was. But either way, it was usually only those 3, and then you might get the odd one after that. But they've started releasing new ones for the high players, like level 60 NPC bases, and I actually saw my first shock launcher on a NPC base, which was kind of cool. As you can see there, level 30 in Canada now. We're getting really close up there. But yeah, it was kind of cool that they started adding that to it. Obviously, they can't make that resource base too overpowered because some people might not be able to deal with it, but they only put 1 on there, and there wasn't a huge amount of defenses on it, so it was a very manageable NPC base, but it was also kind of cool. I'm just hoping they don't move into putting shock launchers on Dr. Terror, because right now I used to have lots of trouble with Dr. Terror, but now it's just so easy that I can do all of Dr. Terror with no statues boosted, and I can almost be a little bit sloppy now that I've done it enough times that I know what to watch for. Okay, I think this will be the last one actually, guys. This person had an okay base, but definitely not one of the higher end anti-warrior ones that I've been seeing a little bit. Oh, we're gonna have to drop a heal on there quick. Okay, so I think we've got lots of coins. It's gonna shock bombs and close buildings, and just like that, it's down. I think that should bring us to 807, I believe. I think I was at 805 before I started this one. 808. Cool. So as you can see, we're almost halfway to 51, which is, we're getting up there also. Rank 28. Nice. I like it. We're making some good progress. There's a couple more resource spaces I can take. Globally, we're going to finish off this video at 547, which is also not bad. Almost top 500 in the world. All right, guys, but other than that, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, rate, subscribe, and check out the rest of our videos, guys. Thanks. Peace.